Oh, let's fall over. There we go. Well, hey guys, it's Brian, and welcome back once again for another video. We are doing our entry video for the Bandai Group Build. I have no special effects. It's a Bandai Group Build, and this is being hosted by one of my good friends, Mr. Papa Dan, over at Papa Dan 2, or Hobby Time with Papa Dan. He changes his channel name very often, but we still find him, even though he tries to run away from us. And then also another good friend of ours, Daniel, over at Munchkin Modeling Man. I think there's a number in there also. It's probably a 7 and a 2, but we'll put links to their channels down below there. But yeah, Bandai. I love the Bandai stuff. I like building Gundams. Some folks say, oh, those are not model kits or whatever. I'm like, we don't need that hate. But I enjoy them. It's actually sort of like it's like a way to floss the mind when you're working on a kit, because I'm like, oh yeah, this is really easy to do, and I don't have to paint a whole lot of stuff, and I can put it together and it still looks good, and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's that's me sitting in the bath with candles and a glass of wine right there. But I asked Dan, one of them, if asked Munchkin Modeling Man, hey, this is a Bandai Group build. Can it be anything that's Bandai? He says, yeah, anything that's Bandai, even the automotive stuff. And I always forget that Bandai probably still does produce automotive kits. But I said, okay, anything Bandai. He says, yep, anything Bandai. So I got out this guy. That's right. Now, if you are under the age of 30, if you are not born in the UK, Australia, or any of the crown countries, Canada perhaps even too, you might not be familiar with the Thunderbirds. You might think of the American Special Flight Team Thunderbirds. I know I used to. I grew up on Air Force Base, blah, blah, blah. But no, the Thunderbirds was a TV show back in the 60s, I believe, back when they had just invented color. Thus the entire the color of things. I know they invented, Dr. Farnsworth had invented color long before that. Anyway, I digress. This is not a historically accurate episode at all. Okay, so I'm just going to say that right now. But I remember when I was a kid, we went to the video rental shop that was across town, and it wasn't even a lackluster video. There was some other video shop, and we had to join up and get a card and all that jazz. Anyway, my dad had a Betamax machine. Oh my God, you're like, what the heck is a Betamax machine? Well, Betamax machines were in direct competition with VHS tapes. That's a whole other video. I'm not going to get into it. I used to be a video technician. I worked with both tape sources plus several others that you might not even be aware of. But I am familiar with the Betamax tapes from when I was a young lad, and we would go to the video rental store, and because we had the beta tapes, my dad was always like, only pick out videos that are for the Betamax system. So we're like, okay, great. So my sister went off and picked out her things, and it was like Holly Hobby robs a bank or something like that. Anyway, I would always be gravitating towards this stuff. So first of all, they had it in Betamax tape, which meant A, it was going to work at our house, and B, nobody else was touching it because they didn't have that system. So they always had these tapes there, and it was kind of fun because what the persons that were editing these things would do was they would take them at that time in the early 80s and compile them into a feature-length film or something like that. So it'd be like an hour and a half long, which should be a compilation of a bunch of episodes all squished together into one storyline. But I thought it was cool. I love the fact that these things looked like toys out there floating around, flying around, doing their things. I thought it was cool that they had the marionette type of thing. It was a little unsettling. Their eyes, a little unsettling. It was only about a day and a half worth of therapy there, but I was fascinated at how the producers of the show were able to make marionette sweat. That was there's some choices being made. I was very interested in how they did that. But the thing that drew me to the show was what went on in the background. Okay, first of all, this looks like it's a minivan that's been converted into some sort of shuttle thing, right? That's kind of cool. Looks like it's got an F4 tail on there, type of thing, and some lady fingers stuck on there and stuff, and then a snow plow that turns into a light system, and then some toothpaste caps back here. But I remember looking at the actual background sets and stuff like that, And they had this one space launch facility that was on the island where Thunderbird 1 would launch. And in the background was this vent thing. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, man, that really looks like the top of a French's squeezed mustard, you know, the little cone-shaped thing. And then I took a closer look at it. I'm like, no, actually, that's the cap off of an Elmer's glue bottle. And sure enough, I did some research on the shows and stuff, and sure enough, everything was built in like some weird scale for the marionette stuff. But the stuff that was in the background, that was all super miniature type of stuff. And then when they would have to cut, they would just go into somebody's office and like clean out their desk drawer for stuff, paint it up, glue it together, stick it on the wall, and that was the set pieces and stuff. So I thought I was always fascinated by that. You'd think something like this was a low budget type of show, but as it turns out, it wasn't. It was extremely popular every year that was on. It got an even stronger budget and stuff like that, so stuff kind of progressed and got better as it went along. But something about these guys, the producers of the show, they like blowing up stuff, and they blew up a lot of models on that TV series, and it blew my mind. I loved it. So anyway, enough about this here. This is actually the Submarine Thunderbird 4, as we can see here, and it's all in Japanese because this is a Bandai kit, but it's of a British property, so that's kind of cool. On this side here, we see Thunderbird 1 and Thunderbird 3 and Thunderbird 4 and Thunderbird 5. Thunderbird 5 is actually a space station that kind of oversees everything. There is no Thunderbird 2 on here because Thunderbird 2 is a gigantic ship. It's actually a warehouse that can fly. We see part of it in the background here. Thunderbird 2, that was my jam. I loved that one. That was cool. I liked that one. I thought it was cool. Thunderbird 4 was my second favorite. And it's actually a pretty good size. I'm not even sure what scale this is supposed to be. We're just going to call it box scale. But it is molded in cheddar cheese yellow. So that's kind of cool. You know, it's like a head start on the painting, but we're probably going to paint this TS-34 camel yellow. That's one of my favorite colors. It's on the Universal construction vehicles that I've been doing. So we're going to go with that. This kit also has an itty-bitty version of the Thunderbird 5, even with a little decal sheet here. A little toasty, a little, you know, worse for wear, but I think it'd be kind of fun to do up this little guy. And then the rest of the kit, here's the decal set. I'll probably just use the Thunderbird script and the numerals. I don't think we'll use this stuff here. We might just mask off and paint that. We'll see how well these want to conform, because we do have to do these nacelles here and then try to get stuff wrapped around things. So I'm not 100% sure that's going to go well, because these do look a little toasty. In the meantime, we have the instruction sheet, which says put this together, put this together, put this together, and put that together, and then you're done. That's it. And then a little story in Japanese about the kit, I guess. I'll have to do some translating on there. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing for the Bandai Group Build. I'm looking forward to getting started on this right now. We have one more video we have to do. I'm pointing to the one more video we have to do for the March to Space, and we'll do that here in a second. Everybody, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in yet again, and we'll talk to you in just a little bit. Bye now.